This open. This how you be looking, Sheldon. Hey, what's going on? Y'all just tuned in with your boy Full Court Entertainment. As always, you just tuned in with your boy GQ Worthy, the GOAT, the guy. It's Tuesday. I actually messed that up, but it's cool. We'll keep going. We got Ace the GOAT, as always, and my man, Sneaky Sam, Sheldon. Don't trust him.
Don't
So
do it.
today, we're going to just hop right into this topic. We got Joel Embiid versus Jokic. We got both these guys right now competing for the MVP. But the true question really is who has more pressure? And a little bit of background context with that question is that Joel Embiid was drafted by the 76ers and had to deal with a couple of injuries, foot, missed a lot of games. And then, so the process was started. You had Ben Simmons drafted, Markel Folks, you had a lot of great teams constructed, and maybe they would have went to the finals if Kawhi didn't hit the shot. But overall, they started the whole tanking process in the NBA, which led the NBA making a play-in tournament, which was one of the greatest things ever done in the NBA in the past 30 years. But then you got Jokic over here in the Western Conference, the two-time MVP back-to-back. Never seen that coming when he was drafted. And then you got him potentially going for a third MVP. Not we ain't seen that done since what? Wilt Chamberlain, Larry Bird. So the question is, who has more pressure? So I'm gonna go ahead and just toss that up to Sheldon. What do you think and who you saying?
You know, it wasn't a difficult question because obviously Jokic won back-to-back MVPs the last 2 years, could potentially win the third. Joel been at the top of the East, basically since like he kind of been the not since he been in the league, but the last like I say 3-4 years they've been at the top. So I would probably give it to Joel. I felt like we always talk about the process. They went through all their bad times. They always went against Boston in the playoffs. Lost, can't beat them. Lost to the Hawks in the semifinals. Could have went, should have gone to the conference finals. They lost last year. Went to the semifinals again. Lost, and this year, this is probably like his best team, one of his best teams he's ever had, potentially his best team he's ever had with Tyrese Maxey, Tobias, James Harden, with all of them.
Not his
And
best.
it's like,
That team
we
with Jimmy Butler.
It was the Jimmy team.
did I not say one of his best teams? Did I not say that?
We gotta jump you. Go ahead, continue though.
Jump me. I said one of his best. What are you talking about? I just said
Go
one of his best teams. I said you can argue it. That's all I said. Either way, like, and Joel, he been putting up 30 points the last like 2 years. And it's finally time because if he doesn't win, they're gonna they're gonna put him in like not in the conversation with Chris Paul. Obviously, he ain't been in the league as long as Chris Paul, but this great player that can't win in the playoffs. And I feel like it's time for him to at least get to the conference finals and to win a championship. I like with Jokic, for some reason, it's like I feel like it's I don't know, I feel like it's pressure, but it's not pressure for some reason. Like because it's like they've always been good because they went to the conference finals and in the bubble. But it's like we giving the Nuggets a pass because with all the injuries they've been having with Michael Porter and Jamal, and now I feel like if say Jokic doesn't win this year, I feel like we're not gonna be like, oh, he should have did more.
I mean,
So I feel like, in my opinion, I think it's Joel.
yeah, I agree 100% with what Sheldon said. Just to piggyback off the ending of it, like I don't really think we look at this Nuggets team as a championship team for real. Jokic is an individual. He's a great individual player, but like he said, the Nuggets ain't really. They went to the conference finals, yeah, but nobody ever really look at the Nuggets and be like, "Oh, they're a championship caliber team." Honestly, 76 ain't really did nothing since that 2001 run where they went to the finals and got gentlemen swept by Kobe. So, like he said, if we've been screaming the process for so long, when is it really going? When is it going to reach its final destination? You've been the runner. You've been the number two these past 2 years, MVP voting. Like you say, top of the league, but you can't get nowhere throughout the playoffs.
You should have said process. You had that line right there. You said we've been seeing the process so long. When is it gonna process?
Oh my bad.
Yeah.
Hey, you got the bars.
GQ Tuesday coming on Thursday. I say though, honestly, why I don't think Jokic has as much pressure as Embiid. Because honestly, Jokic really just became like the best player on his team within the last 3 years. So it was always Jamal and the organization piecing things around Jamal. Jokic came complete and whole within that past 3 years. And I say like honestly, Jokic doesn't harp on like regular season awards. He doesn't really celebrate it. Like his comments are always like praising his teammates and what they can do and what he can do to make them better. He never makes comments or show excitement about other people praising him. Like he's a great. He let other people praise him and talk him, and I think he really sells it because when you see his excitement level when he like playing with his horses at home over the summer, it's like dang he don't even be that excited when he get 22 rebounds and 30 points. It's like he more excited about his horses. But then you get Joel Embiid, he's the internet troll. That's his name on Twitter and stuff like that. He loves to troll. He loves to say things like, he says the right things about like, maybe I'll get it next year, such and such deserve it. Woo, woo, woo. It just don't feel or sound sincere. And I can't let it go that they was tanking. They was tanking like crazy and didn't even do nothing with Markel folks. Ben Simmons might be a bust. I ain't seen a player fall off this hard without injury since I don't know when. Like it's crazy. You can call Ben Simmons at a basketball court, and that just means you can't shoot and you scared. You Ben Simmons. So I ain't gonna hold you. The process been done, and we ain't seen none yet. He owe Philly at least a finals appearance. And I don't even mess with Philly. We had the Eagles. We had the Eagles go to the Super Bowl. They ain't get it done. What's going on with their baseball team, Sheldon? What they do?
They got it done at one point.
Eagles?
Yeah.
Man, that like 20 years ago. They don't count no more.
They just run recently.
That was recent.
The Eagles.
Yeah, they just run like 3 years ago.
No, it was probably like 6 years ago. It was recent though.
It's when Meek Mill dropped that Champions album. That was a couple years ago.
All right, for sure. I'll give you that. Now I'll say this though. Joel Embiid got more pressure, man. Joel Embiid got more pressure because he's been in this peak form. He's been one of the top 10, arguably top 5 players in the league for a much longer time. And the way the fans argue about it, the media talks about it. He leads the team. He's the number one option. It's just pressure for him to get a ring. That's the way the conversation goes. His individualness, greatness as a player hasn't translated enough, as it has against Jokic. Because Jokic's team, they're still trying to piece the team together versus the 76ers. You got a lot of great people over there that's been there, ran through there. You still got the great coach Doc Rivers. You still got Maxey. You have Ben Simmons. You got Tobias Harris. You got James Harden. You know what I'm saying? You Nerlens Noels. You had a lot of. It's just that they've had so much more and more attention on them. It's not the same, Jokic. It's not the same. The big gloves are out for Jokic, but he does his thing. He was amazing in the playoffs last year. So it's just more pressure on Embiid.
Well,
I feel like you think this is Doc last season, last job.
I ain't got too much. I think this season
he has to go to the conference finals at least.
I think next year is his last year with them.
He has to go to the conference.
You know what, Doc can't do nothing with talent, and he showed that. I don't think they're gonna make it.
His lack of adjustments. His lack of adjustments, second half adjustments in the playoffs, they always get him. It's a game of X and O's. Doc needs to learn to make adjustments, and they always pick him apart because of that.
Well, I was just gonna say, well, Joel Embiid was a top player. He was gonna be the number one pick if he hadn't broke his foot. And then when you have a good big man like that coming from Kansas, it's like you're gonna have pressure. He missed the first 2 years, so now we thinking like, is he gonna play? How is he gonna be? He turns out to be this great big man, and they have put pieces like around him. Like they traded for Jimmy Butler, they traded for Tobias Harris. No matter what you say about Tobias Harris now, when Tobias Harris was on the Clippers and with the Pistons them years, he was good. You can't take that away from him. He was good them years. You had Ben Simmons. JJ Redick was a good role player at that time. You signed him. Then you go out. Ben Simmons doesn't work out. You trade for James Harden. When you keep trading for all these good players, you're gonna have pressure to win a championship, especially when you're this great. That's just what comes with being that guy. So he does have a lot of pressure. But like you said, and I do kind of agree with Jokic, like he's been good, but he just became great. Like he just became great. So it's like we kind of just giving them a pass, and especially since they kind of built this core through like the draft and stuff. I feel like when it's built through the draft, you don't put as much pressure, even though they are a really good team. But when you bring players together, it's like, okay, we brought y'all together, we made all these trades and signed this, now we got to get it done.
These
So
superstar
that,
players.
so it's like you brought James Harden. No matter what you say about James Harden is he's still low key a superstar. No matter what you say, so you basically
Still a
have two superstars on the team, and with Joel being the best player, always in the MVP discussion the last 3 years, he's come second. Basically, well, we're not counting this year yet because we don't know, but the last 2 years he's been second behind Jokic. So yeah, I'm gonna just say Joel.
You think so?
Like I said, he has the most pressure, and he has to at least get to the conference finals. Like they have to, but they could potentially get to the finals. Like I'm not saying they can, but they could potentially get there.
Okay.
They have a chance.
I mean, okay, so you bringing just up conference finals and playoffs, and so one thing we also want to talk about too is just the what teams in the West can actually make the play in right now. Because I'm gonna read off the list right now that we got for like the sixth spot is the Warriors. They're 40-37. The seventh is the Timberwolves, 39-38. The Lakers, 38-38. The ninth seed, 38-38. The Pelicans, the Thunder, 38-39 at the 10th. Then we got the Mavericks at 37-40, Jazz at 36-40. So honestly, 6 through 12 is really, really tight right now. Like every time you lose a game, win a game, the standards are changing like ridiculously. And honestly, even if the Clippers lose 2 games, they fall down to the 7th seed. So it's really tight right now. It's really tight right now in the West. So who you got, Sheldon, making a play in?
Well, we'll get to the Mavericks later. We'll get to them later. But I think they'll like when it comes to just a play in, I think the Timberwolves will make it. Now, will they stay at 7? I don't know. But I do believe with Cat coming back, because I thought he wasn't coming back, and all of a sudden he comes back. And he's been playing good since he's been back. He's been playing good. So I think they'll stay at, I think they'll be in there, but I don't know about what position, because like you said, it just keeps flip. Anytime you lose, it just flip-flops. Or win, it just go flip-flop. The Lakers been playing good. I still don't trust their bench, but I mean, the Lakers, as long as since LeBron came back, because I was like, he gonna come back in the last week or so. That's what they reported, but then he comes back out of nowhere. He comes back a week early, basically. So as long as he's back and AD plays good, they'll be in there. Dallas will make it. I think they'll get their act together because their schedule is not the hardest, but it ain't the easiest. Like you got the Heat. Can they beat the Heat? Yeah, I think they can beat the Heat. Can they beat the Hawks? Yeah, they can beat the Hawks. The Kings, the playoff preview. We don't even know. That could be a playoff preview. The Bulls, I think they can beat the Bulls. And then the Spurs, that's a free W coupon, so I'm not worried about them. The Thunder, I think the Thunder gonna make it. I think they'll get the 10th seed. I think OKC. I think even though their schedule is hard, man, I looked at their schedule. Their schedule is pretty hard, but I think OKC will make it. I would have the Pelicans. The only reason I don't have the Pelicans making it because of their schedule. You got to face the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Kings, and the Grizzlies. Those are 4 playoff teams right there. So I don't know if they can beat them. I don't know if they can beat those teams, me personally. So I'm going to just and the Knicks and the Timberwolves. All of them teams in the playoffs and all somebody fighting for something. So I think the Jazz, they're not gonna make it, but yeah, I think the Pelicans not gonna make it. So I'm gonna just say Timberwolves, Lakers, Mavs, and Thunder.
You know, there's conversation about Zion coming back those last few games, right?
Man, yeah, that ain't.
Is it gonna be enough time though? What are they like? Is he gonna be on? Is like he's gonna be on minutes restriction, but is those minutes gonna be more? Are there gonna be important minutes for them to help them win those games against those playoffs teams? Like, is it? Because I don't think so. But they said he's supposed to be reevaluated in 2 to 3 weeks. We all know reevaluate means checkup. That don't mean you coming back.
They said recently, from what I heard yesterday, was that he started working out again. He started working out, ramping up. So I think it's a little bit more than reevaluate. I think that's more like if this team can win a few games and they got like 1 or 2 games, Zion's gonna play.
You know the season ends next week, right?
I know.
So that means starting. That means he has to get in shape. Then they have to literally go back and say, "Are you good?" And then he's gonna be on minutes restriction. Is that enough time in basically in the next week?
Mm-mm.
That's not enough time.
No, man. I
For him
don't.
to get
Not
in,
enough time.
for him to get in a good enough playoff ready shape, it's not enough
It's
time.
tight
No,
right.
I'm not like if let's say the Pelicans, let's say they fight and make it to like a play-in. Could he play in a play-in? Yeah, I think he could play in the play-in because the play-in starts on the 11th. So that's in 2 weeks. But next week, against them teams, when all them games matter, I just read it. Nuggets, Clippers, Kings, Grizzlies, Knicks, and Timberwolves.
He might
Can
try
they
against the
win
Knicks.
some of those games?
I'm
Those
just
are playoff teams.
I'm just being a Pelicans advocate because last week I already said I don't. I called it. I said I don't think the Pelicans make the play-in playoffs this season, but not to just dismiss them. I still want to give them a little bit of credit. But go ahead, Ace. Tell what the topic right now. Teams, the Western Conference is so tight. What teams you think making a play-in playoffs?
I mean, my play-in tournament is Timberwolves, Lakers, Pelicans, Thunder. I think it's gonna hold just like that. Honestly,
Mm.
um, I believe the Lakers could go on a run. Like AD said yesterday, they do have. I feel like they do have all the pieces, but I feel like they're gonna hold right here.
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna hold right there. East, I'm just looking at Heat, Hawks, Raptors, Bulls. I think I really thought the Bulls would just fall all the way off and not even make the playoffs this season. Honestly, I thought that a couple of the Eastern teams at the bottom would have made a run, but Bulls held their own. So
I
that's
see.
my play in right there. Honestly, you already know the top teams.
Yeah, for me, looking at I don't even pay attention to the East because I think the East is just set. I think it's set right now. I think with the Pacers sitting down, Tyrese the rest of the season, I think they're like, okay, we good. We'll try next year.
They shut them down.
Yeah, Tyrese is shut
Uh,
down for the season.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, so then you got the Bulls. I think they're catching a little bit of stride at the end. I don't even really think about it. I think everybody I think the Wizards, they're done. I think the Wizards are done. I think the Pacers are done. Because Kuz, I don't think Kuz is gonna come back. Porzingis is
Mm-hmm.
catching a little stride, but I think they really need Kuz, so I don't see them winning or catching them in the game. But like looking at the West, I'm not gonna hold you. I think the Jazz had a successful season. I don't think they make it. And I think they're okay not making it. But honestly, they had a successful season. No one saw them winning this many games and being entertaining, still selling out. Like they was one of them teams. It was like you thought coming in it was gonna be an easy game, sit out. You think you're gonna beat the Jazz with your bench, and it's like no, they got like the
Mm-hmm.
Lori marketing broke the fuck out. And then you got Tyler Horton Tucker who dropped like 41 the other day. So it's like they had a successful season. I like the
They
Jazz
see you think they see that they standards that they set. Honestly,
Yeah,
way
they
past,
exceeded that.
way, man, because think about it, like they was able to trade off all those people and get back something valuable for. I think Danny Ainge like said like I'm still one of the best GMs in the league. You gotta respect me. I
yeah.
think he really made you think of that. The Mavericks, I think they're gonna get it together. I think they're gonna find it. I think like what Richard Jefferson said today while watching a little bit of ESPN, the team is not Kyrie's fault that they're losing.
It's
The
not Kyrie
team,
fault.
yeah, it's
It's
not Kyrie.
Mark Cuban. It's Mark Cuban fault. It's the GM fault.
It's not Mark Cuban's fault. Mark Cuban just owns it. He doesn't run it. He trusts his people. I'm gonna say this. So
He has a hand in the decision making, but ultimately that's really who they're gonna turn to because
it's
he the
not.
one that pay out the money.
He's not the GM. It's not his fault. That's like saying it's Walt Disney's fault that Little Mermaid isn't good. No,
But he does have to give the okay though.
I'm not gonna blame the owner of the
I'm not
organization.
gonna blame him,
No,
but
he not sold. I'm not. That's just the name. That's just the name that I know to represent the Dallas Mavericks, bro. That that's that's
All
it.
right, so that's y'all. I'll let y'all get y'all points off. I'm not trying to hear nothing else what y'all said. So, like I'm saying, with the Mavs, the team was never constructed. It was never a solid team on paper. It was always Luca a bust. Luca dragged these guys around. Luca magic. And I think when you traded all that stuff away, you traded a little bit too much to get Kyrie to make this Toronto Raptor type run for the playoffs. It's not Kyrie's fault. Kyrie got his antics and stuff, but he show up on the court. He been hooping, he been balling. It's not Kyrie's fault. I think the Mavs, honestly, even if they get to the playoffs, I think they with anybody. There's no money putting them out in 4 or 5. I think they go 7. I think they make it. Honestly, I think the Pelicans fall off. I don't think they make it. I called it a while ago. I think maybe they catching a little bit of strata at the end, but I don't think it's enough. I think the schedule's too hard. I don't think Zion's going to make it back. I think the rumors and the whispers is not going to do anything. We're going to keep saying the same thing. Maybe next year with Zion, going to come out too hard, another load managed, going to miss a lot of games. Pelicans are done. They're fucking done, boo-boo. It's over with. So I think the Lakers, I ain't going to hold you. I think the Lakers, they got to face, because I looked at that schedule. Everybody they face is who they need. I think they could steal a 6.
These get back games, for real.
Yeah, LeBron said, he said, I smell blood in the water. He said, it smell weak in the West right now. That's why I came back. LBJ said that. I believe it. I believe they steal this 6 spot.
Man. But we got some get back games.
Yeah, because I want to see the Lakers go against the Kings in the first round. I want my boys, I want my Kings to go ahead and put y'all king out. You know what I'm saying? Who really sitting on the throne? That's what I want to see. But I think it's sad. I want to see the Thunder. I want to see Shea go against the Clippers. I want to see that too, because I think he got a little bit of smoke for LA. I think he got some smoke for the whole city.
Could be.
Yeah, so I like the Timberwolves. Actually, I don't like the Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves are frauds because I had them at being number 1. We was gonna see some defense we never seen before. They 38-8. They 38-8.
Cat was hurt. You gotta say that. Cat was hurt.
And I'm not expecting Cat to catch his stride and start playing some of his peak basketball late in the season, just getting these couple of games underneath him. No, not at all. And with that said, I want to talk about like with Kevin Durant return, LeBron James return. I think KD is the bigger return. He's the bigger like factor for like them. I think we've seen too many times LeBron James late in his career return with the Lakers and what does it mean, this and that. I think it's just the same, just regular mainstream media hype. Let it go. It's LeBron. They got to figure it out. They got to figure it out without LeBron. It doesn't mean nothing if he's there and they can do all these things. They never figure it out without him. And every time he go down, step off the floor, that none of these great things you need from them. I think it means something more having Kevin Durant back. That way you're not being able to freaking blitz and double team Book. He can go out there and get an easy 35 without being taxed. You get Chris Paul, who can actually go out there, pick his spots and not even have to worry about scoring 12 points. Just setting other people up, making the game easier for Aiden. It's Kevin Durant. He matters more coming back than LeBron James, because Anthony Davis should mean more than LeBron James at this point in his career. That's all I got.
He should mean more, but we just obviously know that AD not gonna always show up, honestly. So I feel like with Bron coming back, that has a bigger impact more than KD coming back. We know what a healthy Bron and a dominant AD can do. Is really the Lakers season is really on AD, honestly. And the new team that Rob assembled, they mesh and they gel so perfectly. They do have all the pieces to get to the finals, bro. KD is gonna be KD. He gonna do what he do. But he put the Suns on a different level, but not on the same level that LeBron thrusts the Lakers on when he's on the court.
I would probably say KD. Like Shondell said, KD comes back. We just seen Booker. KD was gone for what, 2-3 weeks? Booker has to literally drop 30 points every night because Chris Paul he's not the same, bro. At this point in his career, Chris Paul is just an average point guard. He's just average. He's not going to get you 24 no more. He's going to probably get you at least 15, 16, 17, whatever. But when Kevin Durant comes back, that's another 30-point score, an efficient 30-point score. And it's going to give them a scapegoat with DeAndre Ayton, because I see DeAndre Ayton sometimes don't be showing up, but that takes pressure off him too. Now he doesn't. Now we're not gonna depend on DeAndre Ayton to go out there and get 20 and 10. Can he get 20 and 10 every night? Yeah, but he doesn't.
I mean, yeah, he
And
just
now
played
that takes
29.
pressure
He
off.
played like 29 minutes and had 3 boards.
My point exactly. Why are you that big only getting me 3 boards? But like I said, he has the talent to get 20 and 10, but he doesn't get 20 and 10 every night. He's their second best. Even before the KD trade, he was the second best player. I don't care what you say. If you want to say Chris Paul the most important, fine with me. Second most, fine. But DeAndre Ayton was the second best player, and he was inconsistent. Now you bring in KD back, it makes everything so much better. It's gonna take so much mileage off of the Suns, and it's gonna make it so much easier for them to get to potentially the finals because they are the 4th seed, right? That means they'll face the Clippers. They can beat the Clippers because Paul George. I mean, they say he could come back first round, but I mean, at this point, we don't know. And without Paul George, they're not winning. They might go 6, but it probably could go 5 with no Paul George. So the Suns with KD returning is gonna make it a lot easier. But I will say about the Lakers, I feel like we've seen ever since LeBron has come to LA, he's been hurt. You can't say he's been healthy. He's been hurt. So it's like you kind of like have to not adjust, but it's like we got to get used to say LeBron's gonna miss time. So it's like it's nothing new. AD, yeah, we know AD gonna be inconsistent, but like they said, it does depend on him. I'm not sold on these role players, bro. I'm still not sold on them. I'm not. I'm like D'Lo just came back. Vanderbilt, we knew what he was gonna do. Play defense, get rebounds. That's all you need him to do. Rui Hachimura, I said it from day one. I'm not gonna hype him up just because he on the Lakers, bro. I'm not gonna do that. Malik Beasley, he's a catch and shoot guy. Not gonna hype him up just because he on the Lakers. We all know with 3-point shooters, if you can't hit a 3, you're useless. That's just how it works. So Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is good. Austin Reeves been playing good, bro. But I'm not gonna hype him up either. I'm not gonna do that either, bro. Just because I saw somebody on Twitter say Austin Reeves only getting this hype because he on the Lakers. He on the Lakers. And I think that's true because if he was on Minnesota or something doing this, we wouldn't even be talking about it. We wouldn't. And that's the truth.
But it's the fact that these role players are stepping up in the absence of the star players and when the other star players isn't playing up to par. That's why they're getting so much hype, honestly, to me. It's just showing that when the superstars come back and these guys are that they can trust these guys to step up and take those big shots and make the big shots or make the right plays and whatnot, take some of the load off. Not completely, but these guys complement AD and they complement LeBron.
No, I disagree. I disagree 100%. I before I disagree, I want to say that I think Kevin Durant being on the Suns extends Chris Paul's longevity in the NBA. I think it extends it. I think he'd take another cheap deal, try to win a ring with them too. But I disagree because
real quick about that. Real quick, I agree with that because now he doesn't. Now he's not gonna have to have the shoulder. He's not gonna have to be the number 2. He can really just be pass first point guard, get you some points, and that's it.
He's in the league for another 2-3 years because of that. I think though when you look at the way the Milwaukee Bucks are constructed, the Celtics are constructed, you look at these role players who they can always do what they have to do when the superstar is there, and when a superstar isn't there, like the Giannis's, the Jaylen Browns, the Tatum's, those guys are still pretty good. They know their role. But I think though when you play next to LeBron James, you do notice that a lot of these players it's hard playing next to LeBron. As much as he makes them better and they fit their role, it's easier to play when he isn't there. And now things are set up for you and the teams aren't taking you as serious because without him there, I think a lot of pressure is that I think we need to actually see these teams, those role players do what they have to do when he is there. Because you get a lot of these players, they get a short stint when you're on such teams that's magnified. What Derek White is doing this season, past few games, no one talks about. But if Derek White was on the Lakers, they would, oh my God, he deserves to be the most improved. He deserves this. I think honestly, these players, you only believe in that simply because they're on the Lakers. There's no player on the Lakers outside of LeBron James, AD, close to the Chris Middletons, close to the Bobby Porters, close to the Al Horfords. There aren't really players like that doing that. They have no true player that I actually believe can step up and be good in the playoffs and be the X factor. They have no Tobias Harris. They have no Maxey. These teams are just popular, and you're seeing these guys do what they do at the end of the season when everybody else is laxy-daisy. I simply don't agree with you, Ace. I don't see it. I don't see what you see.
Bruh, it's the Lakers' delusion. That's all it is. Look, Austin Reeves, bruh, he's decent. But I'm not going to say he OP. I'm not going to say.
Nobody's saying that. All my argument or whatever, all I'm saying is just that the role players that they do have complement the two superstars. I'm not expecting Austin Reeves to be a Chris Middleton. He's not a Chris Middleton type player.
I think they expected him to be a Chris Middleton.
Expect him to be a Chris Middleton.
They expected
he just came off of being like the 10th man. What do you mean?
They expect him to be the Chris Middleton this playoff.
No, bro.
He is. I promise you they expect. What's the expectations for Austin Reeves, Sheldon? What you think it is in LA?
Just to be a
for him to be Chris Middleton. Player. Chris Middleton is the number 2 on the Bucks for real.
I don't think this year. I think he did 3.
I say 3.
Whatever. He's still Austin Rivers not one of the top 3 players on the Lakers.
Austin Reeves. I mean,
he's not the 3rd option.
This year you can Austin Reeves. This year
he's not the 2nd or 3rd option.
You can say he's their 5th best player.
Okay, but he's not the 1st, he's not the 2nd, or he's not the 3rd option that you're gonna go to.
But it's just the fact that
there's not many different starting lineups that they done had and whatnot during the season.
But it's just the fact that the last couple of weeks when he dropped them 30 points, man, I ain't never seen that man get so hyped. Like he was getting a lot of hype, bro. And now they're talking about he can get this $80 million contract in the offseason. I mean, like I said, he good, but I'm not gonna overhype him. And the same with D'Angelo Russell. I said it last week, bro. We can't do this. Just because you're on the Lakers, we can't just overhype you. Like,
who's overhyping him? Somebody said he was the best point guard of all time or something.
I mean, that's how they making it seem like.
It feel like it. I ain't gonna hold it.
That's how they making it seem like.
Y'all got to show me what content y'all watching. Who's out here saying that D'Angelo Russell is one of the best point guards of all time or something? Because you're talking about you're not finna OP or hype him up and whatnot. I'm not really hearing no hype behind it.
Oh no, they hype. I just saw Austin Reeves get hype.
Highlight of Austin Reeves. They released the hour.
So you saying Austin Reeves ain't getting hype?
No, I don't think Austin Reeves is getting hype.
He just dropped his hour highlight.
He just dropped his career high as a role player. That's great for somebody like that.
I ain't seen.
Come on, bro.
Middleton just dropped his career high last night. We ain't heard nothing, not a peep, not a word.
Come on, bro.
Chris Middleton is the 2nd or 3rd option for the Bucks. We know he is a pure scorer. What do you mean? This is Austin Reeves, a fucking role player, dog. Come on, bro.
Drew Holiday, bro.
He'd have like the 3rd option.
Bro, he just dropped his career high last night.
Drew Holiday is not a role player. Drew Holiday's been a top. Bro, Drew Holiday's been okay, bro. Like, come on, bro. We all know Drew Holiday has been better than
it's just the fact that when somebody on the Lakers goes off, we're like, look at what he just did. We act like we gotta be like, oh my God, look what he did. No, I'm not doing that, bro. He's decent, but don't be saying like he's. Bro, D'Angelo Russell been decent, bro. But now he back on the Lakers. He go off for 30. We could be like, y'all see D'Angelo Russell? Y'all just see what that man just did? No, bro. That's just a good game. And it's the same with Austin Reeves. And if Malik Beasley hit 6 threes, oh my God, look at what Malik Beasley just did. You just said it a month ago about hyping up Rui Hachimura. You was hyping him up. Come on, bro.
I hyped his ability up. He's a if you go back and you want to look at the clip, what did I say? What did I say that he bring to the table?
He said he
don't bring.
What do you mean?
You said size and mid range too.
Like, come on. He talking about I hyped him up. That's what he bring to the table. I ain't come out here and say he the fucking savior or something.
He can't even bring shit to the table.
He don't be getting in the game, man.
You ain't talked about Rui Hachimura, never. Now he going to Lakers. Look at this, man. Look what they just got, man. They got Rui Hachimura. Man had one good game. I ain't heard about him since. I feel like we just gotta stop doing that. We gotta stop doing that about just because they're on the Lakers, bro. Rui Hachimura probably had way more better games than the Wizards. We ain't nobody spoke to him.
Okay. So let's get this back under control. Speaking of these hype and these young players and what they doing, right now we getting the Thunder. They got a lot of hype coming in with them too, especially with Chet Holmgren talking about free 7. When I seen free 7, I said, motherfucker, free yourself. What the hell you like? If you can hoop, go tell a doctor you can hoop. You ready to come back? But what you think the ceiling is for this? You think this ceiling they going to the finals like we seen Russ, Harden, KD, Sheldon? You think they going back to the finals with this team? Because that's the expectation with the other 3 did.
Not in the next 5 years.
You don't even know. You ain't even seen the full team on the court, so it's hard to even say.
I don't think. Well, really, can they exceed this Thunder team with them 3? Actually, they probably could because they're probably going to stay longer than this team. They only stayed 3 years together. We only saw 3 years of Harden, Westbrook, and KD, and we saw they finally go back to the playoffs. They lose to the Lakers. Then they go to the conference finals, lose to the Mavericks. That was the Dirk year. Then they go to the finals the 3rd year. They lost to the Heat, and that was it. And I mean, I feel like with this core with Shea, Chet, Giddey, and Williams, I think they're gonna stay way longer than 3 years. So can they potentially get to the finals? It depends because we don't know how these other teams gonna be.
Yeah.
Do I think they will get there? Not in the next. I say not in the next 5 years. No.
Ace, what are you?
No, it's possible, yeah, with the right situation. But I'm just saying, that's hard to really say because we haven't even seen that core on the floor together. We don't know how Chet's gonna play. We know what he can do and what he can bring and what he's expected to do. But is he gonna live up to those expectations? We can't really know yet. So I know Shea has emerged as a star for real in my eyes this season. So you already got one piece right there. And you got a nice roster, and like Sheldon said, if they're gonna be there for a while, don't really think they leaving or going nowhere. So in the next 5 years, no. But is it possible? Could be. With the old heads and the top players in the West, they're gonna be retiring soon. So who knows? Maybe they run the West.
Yo, that's crazy to me. I can't believe you just said Shea just became a starter this year, bro. That's crazy, bro. Bro, that's crazy, bro.
I'll say this. I think he's really been a starter I think it really started last year. He just got noticed this year. I think he just got noticed this year.
Do you think he can be called a superstar if he's averaging 31?
Actually, you can't because superstars are basically players that you can elevate your team, and he's elevated. So yeah, I don't have a problem with anybody saying he's a superstar. Yeah. He's got them in the play-in. Nobody thought they was gonna make play-in. So yeah, you can say he's a superstar.
Yeah, he's one of the young superstars.
It's just he just got noticed this year. But I felt like he was good his whole career. I felt like he was always good.
I mean, he was always good, but like I said, in my eyes, he just emerged as a superstar.
Which one, star or superstar?
I mean, if you say he averaging 31, I would categorize that as a superstar. So, superstar.
That's a lot of points. That's a lot of points. To average 31?
And he been available.
Yeah, he been available. Honestly, finally. Because usually he gets shut down 2-3 weeks ago, typically with OKC. Mm-hmm. I don't think this OKC core reaches the same height as that those are 3 MVPs. You got 3 MVPs. How many MVPs you got between them? 3?
3.
The potential is there. I believe in you guys, but me, I believe in ethic and I believe in show me what you do today, not what you done tomorrow. Too many times I see these rookies come in, they get the keys to the franchise, they don't prove themselves. I ain't seen no skinny guy come to league and shake things up yet. I ain't seen no skinny dude come to the league and shake things up yet.
I don't think he was handed the keys.
I don't think
Shea
he
was
gonna
already there. I don't think he was handed the keys, honestly.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say this though. Honestly, I just don't see it. I think the West always finds a way to stay competitive. Even this year, last year when the East was better, and the East has the favorites to win the title. The West always finds a way to stay competitive, and I think these guys they got a long way to go. I don't think Shea's gonna be there within the next 4 years. I think Josh Giddey, he's decent, he's great, but I don't know. I think they need to find out some better role for him because he really is the point, but they put him at the two. And Chet, even with Dub, they got Jalen, Jalen Williams. I don't know. I just don't. Harden, a monster. Harden was a monster off the bench. Westbrook, like Derrick Rose before Derrick Rose. KD, it's Kevin Durant. It's Kevin Durant. None of these guys have any ceiling there in it.
I mean, and it wasn't solely on them three. You have to when you speak of that thunder, you gotta throw Surge in there. I would say KP, but
he was the reason they got there because he brought the defensive intensity.
Yeah.
So I feel like he was one of the reasons how they started this run, how they really started. I think he plays a big part.
Billy Donovan too, so he was the coach, wasn't he?
Not that first year they went to the
playoffs. Scott Skiles or
I don't know. I love them. I think they can reach it probably, but I think with this core right now, I think even just looking at it from a GM standpoint, looks good. Looks real good on paper, but a lot of times you put these teams on paper, they're not what we think they're supposed to be. They just a lot of times things just don't mesh. Like I was talking to somebody today about like how Russell Westbrook, like it sounds good him going to the Lakers, but then when you look at it, it was like it didn't work. Play styles don't always work. And I think Josh Giddey's still trying to figure out how to play next to Shea. Sometimes it just doesn't look like it flows to me. Not his game.
No, it flows. I mean, he's the point guard. Like he's basically the de facto. Shea is really not a point guard. I would say last year I think he was more the point, but I feel like this year, since he has taken on that go-to guy role, this superstar role, he's the guy. I think he is accepted like I'm the two. You remember how when it was James Harden and Kyrie was like, I'm the two, James Harden's the point. I feel like that's the same way. He's like, I'm the two, Giddey's the point. And it creates mismatches. Now we can let Shea do whatever. And then if you have Josh Giddey at a point, Josh Giddey is what is he, 6'6", 6'7"? Somewhere around there?
It feel like they got him at the two. It don't feel like he run point enough for me. I think his game better when he has the ball.
It's because you see that Shea has the ball in his hands a lot, and Josh Giddey isn't the greatest shooter yet. So it's like he's just standing there, and it's like, okay, what do I do?
He do a lot of cuts. You say that.
Yes, but when he has the ball in his hands, it flows a little bit better because he's a way better passer than Shea. He's a way better passer than him. So I think it flows. But I only said it could only because I think they're just gonna be there longer. Like I just feel like we only saw 3 years. One of the biggest what ifs in NBA history. I still believe that they would stay together. They would have won at least one championship. I still believe that they would at least won one.
Well, speaking of these duos and this time spent together, what do you think what's going on with this duo with Kyrie and Luka? What do you think about this? Why is it falling apart?
Well,
no defense.
They play no defense. Their defense is bad, bro. Jason Kidd, I don't know what's going on with him this year. His adjustments are terrible. Bro, why is Justin Holiday starting? I get why you're starting him. I get it. I get why. But that's not it, bro. I can't have Justin Holiday, Reggie Bullock. These are shooters, but they ain't the biggest players. Why is Christian Woods your third best player? Why does he not play a lot? I don't get that. That's mind-boggling to me. He's a better defender than Dwight Powell. I think a better rim protector than Dwight Powell. Way more athletic, can stretch the floor, shoot. Why do you have started? Why is Justin Holiday starting? Reggie Bullock, I'm fine with that. You can keep him. But Justin Holiday, why do you have him starting?
I've been saying it for months. He needs to just start Josh Green. Like, do it.
Like, Josh Green showed he can play. Hardy, he showed like he can play. Why don't you play them like that? And another thing, like I feel like Luka and Kyrie, I think it could have worked. They egos. They still want to play this one-on-one basketball. They just one-on-one. Like I felt like I always said, I felt like if he had some type of complimentary star, they could get to the finals. I mean, Kyrie is a complimentary star, but he's the wrong complimentary star. He's the wrong guy.
He's a closer. Luka's the closer. Luka needs a Paul George.
It's not that. It's just Kyrie needs the ball in his hands to be effective. If let's say if Luka had Bradley Beal doesn't need the ball in his hands. Bradley Beal can get his own shot. He can set up at the three. He can cut. Kyrie doesn't really do all that. Kyrie is just dribble, and then he's gonna go one-on-one.
Are you saying Dame is going to the Mavs?
I'm not saying that, sir.
Okay.
I don't think that works either because Dame needs the ball in his hands too. But I think Dame is a better complementary player than Kyrie. I'll say that. But
Let me hear from Ace. What do you think about this duo? Why is it failing?
I wouldn't even say it's failing, honestly, because I really didn't have no expectations for when it even happened. Like, you give away your best defensive players just for another offensive score.
Yeah.
And okay, cool. You got two dynamic scorers, but y'all can't play no defense. You can't even. You're not a good. And to add, you not being a good defensive team, you're not really a good rebounding team either. You give up 9 offensive boards. So if you manage to get a stop, I can't trust that you're gonna finish the defensive possession off with that board.
That's
so
a lot.
They give up a lot of second chance points, and you just know how Kyrie is. Kyrie isn't very consistent in my eyes. Luka isn't very consistent in my eyes. If the shots ain't falling, they losing.
Yeah.
If the shots ain't falling, they losing. I feel like when it happened, we knew it wouldn't work, so it wasn't necessarily no expectations. I feel like Kyrie just needed to get up out of Brooklyn, and Dallas was the best option or the best fit.
So wait a minute. Going from 4th to basically 12th is not failing.
I mean, yeah, but look what happened. You give up your defense. That's what's gonna happen if you don't have no defense, bro.
I get what he's saying. Like they were set up like he didn't expect he expected them for them to fall off.
But not this. But bro, you go from 4th to 12th though.
It's bad.
That's failing. I understand you're saying you kind of expected it, but you did not expect the Mavericks to be 12th. You didn't. I know you didn't. Nobody expected the Mavericks to be out the play-in.
I mean, I just knew it wouldn't work. That's all I said. I said this is not going to work, and them dropping is just not working to me.
Hey,
it's failing because it ain't it's no defense. You got, like I said.
Yeah, you can't really harp on too much like going from 4th to they're 4th to 11. You can't harp on that too much because if they win 3 games, they damn
and then the West.
7, so
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, like you said, the West is so tight, so anything could happen.
Yeah.
So
Pelicans gonna fall.
It ain't like a team just got. It ain't like they just got walked down.
But how are you not failing when you trade for basically a star and you was in the 4th spot? I get what y'all saying.
No, that's
but
failing.
To say like it's not failing is not true.
Well, he's fixing his statement. He's saying this
because you have Luka Doncic, a superstar, top 5 player in the league, arguably. Kyrie, top 15 player in the league, and you go and we expect them to be at least where they at. I'm not just saying it's just you. You said you expect them to go down, but a lot of people expect them to at least be in the through 4 through 6, and you're not even in the play-in. You just lost back-to-back games to the Hornets. Free W coupons. That duo's failing. It's failing.
I think that really
Kyrie might not even come back. But it's a good thing for somewhat because they show Luka, hey, when we see that you need somebody, we'll trade for them. And Kyrie was just available. So it's somewhat good out of it.
This season's over with. I don't think they make it, honestly. Now, looking at their schedule, because
you just say they will make it.
I don't know. I'm looking at that schedule now. If you look at that schedule, they play the Heat, they play the Hawks.
Yeah, I
So,
said that.
but even if they win those games, they still need other teams ahead of them to lose. They play the Kings. The Kings losing or winning doesn't help them. They play the Bulls. If they win that, they still need other teams to lose. They play the Spurs. They still need other teams to lose. So it's like their season is more predicated on other teams ahead of them losing versus them winning. Honestly, they need more teams to lose for them to actually make it. So that's really tough. I don't know. I mean, just because I said something 5 minutes ago, don't mean I'll change my style. I won't change like 10 minutes. Honestly, I think it's real tough. I think they're in a really really tough bind right now. If the Pelicans, I don't know, if the
That's why I
Pelicans,
said. That's why I
it's
said the Pelicans won't make it because if look at the Pelicans schedule. Look at it. And look at obviously the Pelicans got a way harder schedule. That's the only reason why I think they'll fall off because of their schedule. And Dallas, they have some easier competition. That's why I think they'll make it. But like you do, will they win? Because they're either gonna face the Grizzlies or the Nuggets. If they face the Nuggets, they ain't beating them. They're not beating them.
who?
That game will go 5-1, 5, 4-1, 4-2. They're not beating the Nuggets. I think they have a better chance of beating the Grizzlies, but if they got to face the Nuggets, they ain't beating them. I'm sorry, they're not beating that team.
Yeah. Okay, so going into our last topic, we got Portland. Damian Lillard will be trade eligible July 9th this summer. Is Portland gonna trade them? Because right now Portland's talking about rebuilding. Dame's been shut down for the rest of the season. And he says he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild. But Portland, they tried to do a soft reset last year. Where's Dame go now? Does he stay? Does he go? What's going on?
I think Portland won't trade him. I think Dame has to ask for the trade. Portland's not gonna Portland's not gonna do like a disservice to him. He's been so loyal to them. They're not just gonna trade him like that. Like he's literally gone publicly and say, "I love it here. I'm gonna stick with you guys from y'all drafted me from day one. Yeah, we haven't made it far. We only made it to the conference finals one time during my tender, but I'm not gonna trade you. Now I
Man,
think if he goes to them, what you say?
so you're saying the only way Portland trades them is if like they come to him and say like he has to like they come to him like, dang, we're gonna trade you. That's you
No,
think gonna happen?
No,
no, he's
he
saying
has
he
to
has
go.
to ask for it.
Oh, okay.
He has to go. He has to go to them and say, "Hey, if y'all really going through this rebuild process, I don't want to go through this. Like, I do want to stay with you guys, but I don't want to just go through a rebuild process. I think he just wants to. I think he wants the team to be competitive because if they're going to
Yeah.
go through a rebuild process, that means you're going to be garbage. Yeah, I'm gonna be there, but we're going to be garbage. Y'all still have Nurkic. Nurkic is a good player. Jeremy Grant, good player. Simon's good player, and we still not good. And now we go to a rebuild. We're really not going to be good. We're going to be a free W coupon. So he has, if he wants to, he has to go to them, and somebody will trade for Dame because one, he's a superstar. He's box office. Why not trade for a guy like him?
Ace.
No, like I agree with Sheldon. I don't think they trade him. The only way he get up out of Portland is if he goes to them and he asks for a trade. And like you said, Dame has came out publicly multiple times over his career saying that he loves it here and that he's stick by the team. I 100% agree with him saying he feel like the team just need to be competitive. You don't have to. I don't feel like Dame has to have another superstar, but bring in some people that could be competitive with him that actually want to win.
Well, damn, I honestly I disagree with both you guys, honestly. I think what happens is though, you guys are just looking at it's hard to see the bigger picture when you're in the frame. And I think that's what you guys are doing. I think you guys are looking at the frame. So yeah, I think the organization has to think about itself and its future. The organization, he's the franchise player, but the organization is the Portland Trailblazers, not the Damian Lillard Blazers. They have to think about their future and they have to think about after him. They have to think about bigger. It's not just about doing Dame a service. Like they owe him a loyalty, but they don't owe him the loyalty to where it's detrimental to them moving forward. If they have to move forward and let Dame go, they're like, hey, we've done enough. We tried, it didn't work. We need to let this go and build over. So I think from Dame, you have to think from the perspective like we have a Damian Lillard. It didn't work. You're not gonna always be able to like trade a Damian Lillard and get back a lot of pieces that you need to rebuild to get you going faster. They're gonna come to Dame. They're gonna work with him just like the Nets worked with Kevin Durant. Where would you like to go? Do you have anything? They're gonna come to him first. They're gonna say, Dame, we have to do this. It has to happen. They have to think about the organization. It's not just about Damian Lillard. It's not the Damian Blazers. It's the Portland Trail Blazers. They have to move forward. They have to move on from Dame. They have to. I believe they trade Dame this summer. I believe they come to him first. They keep the relationship healthy. Like I said, if Jaylen Brown get traded from the Celtics, he still lives in Boston over the summer. If Dame get traded from the Portland Trail Blazers, he still lives in Portland over the summer. Like Kevin Walker, he still lives in Charlotte over the summer. I think the relationship stays healthy. He'll be a Blazer for life. He'll come back to the coaching staff when he retires.
You crazy.
I can see that.
They is not gonna trade that man without him going to them. He's gonna go to them and say, "Hey," because bro, what are you gonna do? Like with no, first of all, you're not an attractive market. Dame is the only thing you got. The Portland Trail Blazers are only relevant because of him. The last 10 years. They're not just gonna do him bogus like that and just trade him out the blue. It's not gonna happen. He's gonna go to them if he wants to and say, "Hey, I don't want to be in this rebuild. I do want to go to a competitive team. Let's work it out." No, I mean, we gonna hear breaking news. Damian Lillard traded, and he finds out on Twitter. No, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Who says that?
Huh?
Who said that?
What?
What you just said? Who said that breaking news? Who said that?
Nobody.
Oh, I thought
I'm just saying that's how some people find out.
They're gonna
trade him without him going to them. Especially with how loyal. Don't you think that would be the right thing to do for a person that's been loyal to you? You think that ain't right?
Sheldon, I'm saying they're gonna come to him. They're gonna say, "Dame, we're trading you." They're gonna tell him. They're gonna work with him and tell him where he's going.
That's basically. But you just said you disagree with us. That's basically the same thing, then. So you kind of agree with us.
Sheldon, no, brother. You said Dame's gonna ask for a trade. I'm saying Dame's not gonna ask for a trade. I'm saying the organization is gonna move on. They're gonna go to Dame. They're gonna say, "Dame, we're trading you." It's not gonna be breaking news. They're not gonna not let him know. They're gonna come with him. They're gonna work with him. That Dame, we're trading you. Like, done deal. We're gonna work with you. Where would you like to go? Blah 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 blah. It's not the same as getting breaking news versus. It's like if someone just she broke up with you, but she didn't tell you. You just see her on a date with another motherfucker versus like you got a text. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna like, Dame, we move. Dame, they're gonna come to Dame. We're trading you. Where would you like to go? Can we work with you? That's what's gonna happen. He's not gonna be on this phone rapping like, what? That ain't gonna happen. That ain't happening. They gonna tell Dame they trading him. They gonna tell you, "Hey, bro, we moving on," because they gotta put their organization first. The organization ain't nobody bigger than the organization. Ain't nobody bigger than the crew. They gotta move on from Dame.
Bro, that's kind of the same thing.
That's not the same thing.
It kind of is. Kind of.
At this point, the argument is who gonna initiate it.
It kind of is, bro.
What?
Like, bro, they are not just gonna go to him, bro. For how loyal he's been there. Like,
why does that matter?
It matters to them, to an organization like that, when no one goes there. What do you mean?
It's like, about the organization, not him.
If that was the case, that would have been.
The organization is bigger than Dame.
If that was the case, they would have traded him the last 2 years when CJ was gone. Then why haven't they? Why did they get rid of CJ then? Why didn't they just get rid of all of them then?
Okay, let me ask you this: did they go to Dame to get the okay to trade CJ, or did they trade CJ?
They probably, bro. It's CJ McCollum. Think about it.
I'm saying they go to Dame and say we need to get the okay to get the trade.
Bro,
they got him out of there.
Bro, you don't see. Look at this. This is what you tweaking on. You don't do this with superstars. You think the Lakers are gonna just trade LeBron out of the blue? You think they just gonna trade KD out the blue? No,
No.
KD asked for the trade, and then he worked with the Nets. They're not just gonna say, "Hey, we're gonna trade you." No, that didn't happen. You don't do that with superstars, Shondale. CJ McCollum is a above average player. You don't do that.
So you telling me that's not? So you telling me they gonna just keep riding it? They gonna keep Dame doing a rebuild?
They probably will until he comes to them. Yes.
You
yes.
You tripping.
You think okay, I got a question. Do you think when the Celtics traded Paul Pierce and KG, you think they just traded them out the blue, or you think they went to them?
They went to them.
Why? Why did they go to them?
Because they were going through a rebuild. They couldn't keep.
But why would they? But they asked their two best players, where do they want to go?
Yeah.
Why would you do it differently with Dame? Why?
Ace, did you hear what he just said? Did you hear what he just said?
Yeah.
Ain't that what I said?
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is they're not just gonna go to him and say, we're gonna trade you. No, they talk KG, they probably talk to them. They talk to them probably. I don't think they're gonna do that with Dame. Dame is one of the exceptions in the league this year. He's one of them that he has to go to them and ask for trade because he's a superstar. They're not gonna do the same thing with LeBron. They're not gonna do the same thing with KD. I doubt they do it with Kobe either. You don't do that. You don't do that with Dame, bro. CJ McCollum, you named CJ McCollum just the above average role player.
That was not the question I framed or stated. When I asked CJ, I said, did they ask for the approval of Damian Lillard to trade CJ McCollum?
I said no.
No, so with that question, I'm talking about the frame of the organization getting permission to do things. It's not about who they traded. It's about the permission and the action. The question ain't got nothing to do with the person.
You know, CJ and Dame are on different levels, right? You know, Dame and CJ are on different levels, right?
Exactly. So the question is not about personnel. It's about who gives the authority to do things. That's what it's about.
And Dame has the authority in the organization to go to them and say, I want to get traded. They're not going to go to him and say he's going to get traded.
And so when I asked the question, why did the organization ask Dame to trade CJ? Did they go to Dame to ask him that? Why not? Why didn't they ask Dame approval to trade CJ?
I don't know.
Because they don't need his authority to make a trade for the organization. The organization comes first, not Damian Lillard. If it comes down to look. If Kemba Walker said, I don't want to be traded, I want to stay here, why didn't the Charlotte Hornets trade? Why didn't they sign him?
Bro, they didn't sign him because they saw he was a defensive liability and he was small of his size.
Well, the statement was actually that when he made All NBA, they didn't want to pay him the money. They didn't think he was worth it.
I don't want to play a player that's defensive liability that's only 6 foot, basically. Why would I do that?
So organizations do things. Hold on, let me finish.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute.
Dale, let me finish.
Go ahead.
So organizations do things. They still do things that put the organization first, even when you have players that are outright loyal to me and don't want to leave. So organizations put the organization first when you have players that are outright loyal to them and want to stay. So organizations, we see an example. They put the organization first, not the player, right?
But Shondale, some players have clout. They have the clout, bro. Kemba Walker was they franchise player, and the same thing with Isaiah Thomas. They didn't resign. He was the best player, but they didn't resign him. Same with Kemba Walker. They saw he was a defensive liability, gets hurt, too small. He didn't probably have the clout like that. Damian Lillard has the clout like that. Has the clout to say, hey, I want to come. I'm coming to y'all to get traded. They're not just going to trade him out the blue.
No, they're not. And I'm saying to you, when you got to ask the question, who is going to break up with who in a relationship? Portland is going to break up with Dame. Dame will never break up with Portland. So Portland is going to be the one to initiate, Dame, we coming to you because we have to trade you and move on. They're going to break up with him before he does it. That's all I'm saying. They're going to be cordial with him. They're going to move on. That's my take. Your take is different. We got to wrap this thing up.
No. You're wrong. You're wrong, buddy.
I can live with being wrong. It's all right because we're both
You're
just
wrong.
predictions. When the
You're
summer
wrong,
comes, we will see. Because right now it is a conflict. Somebody doesn't want the organization going to a rebuild, and the organization is trying to do another rebuild after they did a soft reset. And you got a player like that of that much leverage. People don't come here. You said it yourself. People don't come here. People don't sign here. He loyal. He this, he that. When they ever gonna be able to trade a Damian Lillard again?
When are they going to get a Damian Lillard again?
When will they ever be able to do that again?
But when? But when are you going to get a Damian Lillard type player?
When?
How often are players loyal in this league? How often? How often?
Plenty times. Plenty times. You hear? No.
I say probably in the past 20 years, we probably only seen less than 10 superstar loyal players.
See, now you asked how many players are loyal. Then you went and said superstar players are loyal. Those two different questions, Sheldon.
Superstar loyal players, then my bad. Superstar loyal players. How many superstar loyal players?
Type players.
How many have we seen in the past 20 years?
Would you say Paul George was loyal to the Pacers?
No.
Why not?
He wanted to get out of there. He wanted a bigger market. That was his problem. He wanted a bigger market.
What was his reason for leaving the Pacers?
He wanted to go to LA. He wanted to go back home. He wanted a bigger market.
I thought he said that he knew the organization was going to reset and restart, rebuild, and instead of sending them off and saying that I'm not going to sign the following year going into free agency and let you guys lose out on anything, he let them trade him away for a 1-year deal. I feel like when you bring them in on a loop and don't let them just walk out the door for nothing, that is a sense, that's decency. That is a sense of loyalty. What about Russell Westbrook with OKC?
I mean, bro, these are different.
I think he went to them. I think he went to them. He went to them. He went to them and said, "Look, this is not working out."
Was he loyal to OKC?
He went to them and said, "I don't want to get. I want to go. I want to compete." But he's a different than Dame. Dame is just loyal to his organization. He doesn't care about the winning ring.
Westbrook ever a superstar in the NBA?
Yes.
Yes.
He won MVP, averaged a triple-double.
Yes, but but at that time, Westbrook wanted to win. He wanted to win. Once he saw Paul George was out the door, he wasn't going to win. So he went to them and said, "Hey, I love OKC. I've been here so long. I want to get traded. I want to go to a team that's competitive." He went to the Rockets. But Dame is different. That's what I'm saying. Dame is different. Superstars just have more clout than just a regular player.
I agree. I understand. And that's why I'm saying it won't be Damian Lillard to break up with the Blazers. It'll be the Blazers to break up with him. I got to put me first. I got to put me first.
If that was the case, they would have traded him like the last 2 years, man. That was the case.
Well, that's why he's eligible for trade July.
Okay. One last thing. If I see that Damian Lillard, if I got Damian Lillard, we ain't gone nowhere since he's been here. Don't you think they would have been rebuilt a long time ago? Why would they wait until now to do it?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know now. Now I don't know. All right, then. Well, like I said.
You can't be mad at me because I don't have the answers for a question that you asked about an organization that I'm not.
You should know the answer though. Why haven't they?
Why should I have?
Why haven't they rebuild if they haven't gone? Usually when you see a player, just like with the Jazz, they ain't gone nowhere with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. What happened? They traded them.
Hey, let me ask you this. For you asking me a question, me not knowing, let me ask you a question.
What you gotta ask me, sir? What you gotta ask?
Take a guess.
I don't know.
Why would the organization come out with saying that we want to rebuild? Why would they come out with that statement?
Because they see they're not winning.
Okay.
They see they're not winning.
You already have the answers that no one ever goes there. The biggest person they got recently was who? Melo, Jeremy Grant. Think they're gonna win? Think they're gonna land anybody else? Harrison Barnes, free agency, Tobias Harris, who?
Those are like just average players. They can get an average, but not a superstar. It goes just superstar. Yeah. You can get an average. But they only get people through trades, though. You don't, or through the draft.
Yeah, maybe they'll get a Kyrie Irving or something.
I doubt it. Highly doubt it.
And just like that, thank you guys for tuning in with the Full Court Entertainment show. As always, it is your boy. It is a pleasure. GQ Tuesday, and I'm always worthy and hopeful that you guys return. I got Ace the GOAT, but what is he the GOAT of, really? And we got Shelly Sheldon, Sneaky Sam. Don't trust him because he a trade Dame.
That's you, nigga. What are you talking about? That's you. That was you.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one that don't care about a player.
It's not what I said. It's not what I said.
You don't care.
You definitely need to pay attention to the
You
word.
don't care about him. You don't care about him. You don't care that he was loyal to you all these years. You could care less.
That says to me, that tells me a lot about you, Sheldon. Are we still recording? I thought we were done.
No.
That tells me a lot about you.
Okay. All right.
That tells me a lot about you.
All right. That's fine.